Did you know that Max Verstappen drove an F1 car way before he had that famous free practice session in Japan? At the wonderful event this video is about, a cheeky young Maxie drove an F1 car for the first time and even got to stand in for a world champion. This is a story I heard from Max Verstappen's biggest fan, who I met at the presentation of the Coronel's Dakar rally car. I made a mental note to write a video about it, and here it is. Enjoy! I'm Wimbo. Here's 3 seconds to leave a like. So, the year is 2014 in the Dutch harbour city Rotterdam. Since 2005, a demo run and a parade of international cars, including Formula 1 cars, was held under the name Monaco aan de Maas, which translates to Monaco at the Maas in English. The Maas is the river that runs through Rotterdam. It started in 2005 and ended in 2014 due to a lack of sponsors and logistical problems. It was a very popular event which saw 500,000 people visit to see some of F1's biggest stars. In the years prior to 2014, Nico Rosberg attended with Mercedes, David Coulthard, Jarno Trulli and Giancarlo Fisichella all attended the event at some point. The Dutch Minardi duo Robert Doornbos and Christian Albers were there in 2010, and in 2009 even two-time world champion Fernando Alonso showed up. It's safe to say the parade did have a good reputation in our small country, and it's a pity the event hasn't happened since 2014. I wonder, with the popularity of Formula 1 now, and Max Verstappen being a 4-time world champion, how big this event would be now. Then again, we already know that the Dutch Grand Prix in Zandvoort is a festival weekend with 20 drivers on the grid. The last 4 seasons have been an example to other Grand Prix in fan experience and great racing. I advise you to go there before it's off the calendar. Anyway, 2014 was the year that the VKV City Racing Run took place, and it was a pretty eventful happening. Well, the year 2014 was the year where Max Verstappen, only 16 years old, had his first test in a Formula 1 car in Japan, driving for Toro Rosso. That was in October. This event took place in August and gave him the first taste of a powerful F1 engine. He and his father Jos attended the VKV event a year earlier, where Max drove a kart, but that's kid stuff compared to what he was about to do. So the 2014 edition was the 10th anniversary of the VKV Rotterdam run, and it was made extra special thanks to the 2007 F1 world champion Kimi Räikkönen being on the list to do some show runs. Jos Verstappen was made race director by the organizers of the demo run, and Jos explained that the name race director was given to him, but he was there as an ambassador for the VKV group. He did admit he had a hand in getting Max in the event. And with young Max already signed to Red Bull to drive for Toro Rosso in 2015, it wasn't much of a stretch to let Max do some runs. I mean, any father would do the same. Those two had a goal together, and seeing where they are now, it worked quite well. When asked if he was worried about his young son in a Formula 1 car, he said that even though these cars go mighty fast, Max has never done anything else in his life other than go fast, so he wasn't afraid at all. The whole weekend was filled with different shows, which also included on-stage performances and a gala for the many famous people attending. Well, famous Dutch people. It was so funny to see young Max in his tuxedo being kind of nervous answering questions. He still isn't much of a show pony in that sense, but he's a lot more confident now that he's matured. So young Max did 4 separate runs on the narrow street track in Rotterdam. Unbelievable that a 16-year-old was running machines like that. I hope everything went okay. Well, the first run with the RB8 with his V8 engine went just fine. The RB8 was the 2012 car in which Sebastian Vettel won the title, and with Mark Webber they also won the constructors title. Seb always gave his cars girls' names. Do you know what Seb called the RB8? I'll reveal the answer at the end of the video. Max Verstappen ripped through the narrow street circuit of Rotterdam and entertained the guests with a couple of donuts, leaving big tire marks on the track. Then he did a second run with more of the same, letting all of the 600,000 visitors enjoy the sounds of the V8 engines. Which is better than the sound F1 cars make nowadays. It's still not a V10 though. The third one was unplanned. 2007 world champion Kimi Räikkönen was meant to do his run in his Ferrari, but he was late. They say his plane was delayed, but I think he was having a shit. And that wasn't all that happened to the Flying Finn, as he came to a halt during the demo. And that wasn't according to the plan. It allowed the spectators to make some nice pictures, so it wasn't all bad. And Ferrari had brought two cars, so he just continued the run with the other car. All is well that ends well. Well, not entirely. Max Verstappen got a little cocky perhaps and pushed a little too hard and crashed his car. He damaged the front wing. We all know what Verstappen is like, and after the demo he was interviewed and he said that he wasn't bothered by it at all, as these things happen in racing. And that Kimi was late was also great for him, as it gave him the chance to get more experience in an F1 car. He also did a fourth run. Unfortunately, that one was cut short due to the typical bad Dutch weather. It got too dangerous to continue, and even Max said that he felt the car sliding all over the place, so it was best to call it a day. He said it was super fun to do, as driving an F1 car is always amazing. As you can see here, he begins to realize the interviewer isn't gonna ask him any more questions, so he goes back to admiring the car. This is just like the Max we know today. So people, that was the story of baby Max, Kimi and the crash. I hope you enjoyed the video. And the answer to the question about what Sebastian Vettel called the RB8 was Abby. Please like and subscribe. And I also want to point out the possibility of becoming a member for early access and extra content. Take care now. Doei doei.